Most IT projects do not fail because people are lazy or because the tools are bad. They fail because the problem was never clear, the requirements were too vague, and nobody owned the path from idea to delivery. My name is Corey Kai. I am a U.S. Army veteran, IT specialist, business owner, and technical program manager. This channel will show how I plan, build, manage, and improve IT systems. I will focus on practical examples, not theory that never turns into real work. Today, I want to show the process I use to turn a business problem into a working IT system. That process applies to software as a service products, internal tools, operations workflows, and technical programs that need structure. Most IT work gets messy before development even begins. If the problem is unclear, every later decision becomes harder. If nobody owns the final decision, the team wastes time waiting. If there is no clear finish line, nobody knows whether the project is actually done. I have seen this in business, operations, and technical work. The answer is not more meetings or more documents. The answer is a simple structure that everyone can use. What are we solving? Who needs it? What does success look like? What are we not building right now? That structure is where technical program management matters. It connects the business need, the technical work, the timeline, the risks, and the final outcome. Here's how I think about the work. I do not see IT as only fixing devices or installing software. IT is about making the system work better for the people who depend on it. The IT specialist side looks at the technical environment. That includes access, data, security, users, support, integrations, and reliability. The program management side looks at scope, timelines, stakeholders, decisions, risks, and accountability. The builder mindset matters because plans are only useful if they turn into something people can use. I want to build the smallest useful version first, prove that the workflow makes sense, and then improve it based on real feedback. That is the position I want this channel to demonstrate. I can understand the business problem, organize the technical work, and help deliver the system. For this example, I am using Veteran OneUp. The problem is simple, but the solution can get complicated fast. Veterans and active duty service members often have financial education, benefits guidance, debt planning, VA loan information, and state benefit information spread across too many websites and documents. That creates confusion. The user does not always know what applies to them, what to do first, or what they might be missing. From a technical program management view, I would not start by saying, let's build everything. I would start by defining the user need and the system need. The user needs one clear next step. The system needs organized inputs, rules, checklists, alerts, and educational resources. The purpose of the first version is to reduce confusion. If the system can do that, then I believe it is worth improving. This is the process I use. First, define the problem. That means naming the user, the pain, and the decision they need help making. Second, map the workflow. What happens before the user opens the system? What happens while they are using it? What happens after they take action? Third, write requirements. This is where the project becomes real. Requirements should be clear enough that someone can build from them and test against them. Fourth, ship the MVP. I do not believe the first version needs every future feature. It needs to solve one real problem well. Fifth, improve with data. That can mean user feedback, support tickets, analytics, interviews, or manual review. This is how technical work becomes a program instead of a one-time build. Requirements do not need to sound complicated to be useful. In fact, the best requirements are usually clear and plain. I want every requirement to answer 5 questions. Who is the user or owner? What need are we solving? What data does the system need? What rules or limits apply? How do we know it works? Here is an example. As a veteran, I need to enter my monthly debts so the system can show my payoff order and next action. That requirement tells us the user, the input, the purpose, and the expected result. From there, the technical team can define fields, validations, calculations, and the user interface. The program manager can define acceptance criteria, dependencies, risks, and priority. Good requirements make everyone faster. Here is a real product decision. If I am building a budgeting feature, I do not start by connecting bank accounts on day one. That sounds advanced, but it also adds privacy concerns, support issues, cost, compliance needs, and user trust questions. The better first step is manual entry. Let users enter income, bills, debts, and goals. Build the payoff logic. Build the categories. Build the education. Build the next action checklist. Then watch how users actually use it. Once the workflow is proven, then it makes sense to add bank connections, transaction sync, automated categorization, and advanced alerts. That is how I think as both a builder and a program manager. Reduce risk first. Validate the need. Then add complexity when the system can support it. Program controls are what keep technical work from drifting. I track scope, owners, risks, decisions, and metrics. This does not need to become a paperwork exercise. It needs to be clear enough that the team can move without confusion. Scope tells us what is in the first version and what is not. Owners tell us who makes decisions, who builds, and who approves. Risks tell us where the project can fail, especially around security, cost, schedule, data, and user adoption. Decision tracking matters because teams forget why choices were made. Metrics matter because delivery is not only about launching, it is about whether the system improves the work. Does it save time? Does it reduce errors? Does it help users complete the task? That is the difference between activity and progress. For a first version, I would use a simple 30-day plan. In week 1, define the problem, the user flow, the required inputs, and the first success metric. That might be something like this. The user can create a profile, enter debts, and see the next best action. In week 2, build the core screens and data structure. Do not overbuild. Focus on the profile, manual entry, checklist, and storage. In week 3, add the logic and content. That includes budget categories, debt payoff order, basic education, and reminders. In week 4, test and refine. Watch where users get stuck. Fix unclear screens. Document decisions. Prepare the first launch. A focused 30-day plan is better than a large plan that sounds impressive but never ships. This channel will be about practical proof. I will cover IT systems, technical program management, SaaS builds, and federal IT career growth. The goal is to show how I think through real work. I want to explain how to plan systems, write requirements, organize technical projects, reduce risk, and ship useful products. I also want to connect that to career growth for IT specialist and technical program management roles. If you are watching because you are building a system, managing a project, or trying to move into technical program management, this channel will be built around practical examples. The next video will be about how I plan IT projects before writing code. That is where most of the real work starts. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.